talked all year about consistency and how you guys are trying to find it, and you're always trying to look for little things that can maybe spark it. Do you think, a comeback win like this, where you guys really had to dig deep and it was clear you didn't play your best basketball, but were still able to come out with a win, do you think something like this could spark that?
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so, Jason. I mean, it was just a great win. Guys played so hard really the whole night. I mean, I felt like we played hard in the first half. We just couldn't get a shot to drop. And Miami was playing very well. And so we came in, down 15 at half, but it felt like a game we could still win. And second half, we did a great job rebounding the ball. And we kept them off the foul line, and our defense really picked up. So great win, and we haven't won three in a row all year. So we got a chance in Orlando, and to start this trip, we'll see what happens.
Was exactly the timeline on Draymond, and when do you learn he's out? What's the update on him, and also what's your thought process going into the game? No centers, no Draymond.
So we didn't have a shoot around this morning, so there was no issue, this morning. So we didn't find anything out until pregame, and he had a sore ankle. It was bothering him when he was running. So he went through a series of warm-ups in the weight room, and then he went out. I believe he went out and warmed up on the court with his teammates. And I told him, don't be a hero if it's hurting you. Sit it out. Let's get you right so you don't end up missing 4 or 5 games. And I think he was very honest with himself and with us, and he came back in. He said I probably shouldn't go. And Draymond, I mean, he's as tough as anybody. So it was the right call. It just, because we didn't have a shoot around, it just caught everybody off guard. And so we literally made the decision to start Mike Mulder with 5 minutes on the game clock and before the game began.
Hi, Steve. Jeannie McCauley from AP. That last stretch in regulation where both Pascal had back-to-back baskets and then Bazemore starts coming through, it seems like that kind of got Steph going too. And how important was that sequence to get you guys into overtime and sort of take the momentum back? Yeah,
it was just a great comeback. We Baze was fantastic, as was Eric, and the Jayhawks were great tonight. Kelly and Andrew both had big nights, hit big shots, and but the last few minutes of the fourth, we were just scrambling out there, and I thought Baze kind of led the charge. He really made some huge plays for us and kept us in it, and then of course Steph. This is so typical of Steph. He's just the kind of player and the kind of person who can be in the midst of one of his worst shooting nights of the year and still hit 3 enormous shots to help us win the game. So really an amazing team win and a lot of fun.
Steve, what is it about Steph's personality that allows that, for him to shoot and shoot and shoot and miss and miss and miss and then still be able to turn around when you all need him the most?
I just think he hasn't just built up his body and his skill over the years. I think he's built up his mind, and he's so strong-willed that he doesn't let things bother him, and he knows that the law of averages are going to play out. He has so much belief in his shot that he's going to keep shooting. It's the same reason he shoots 3/4 court shots when there's still time on the clock. He doesn't care about the percentage. He actually believes that's a shot he can make, so he takes it. And same thing applies when he's when he's in the midst of a tough night. He always believes the next one is going in. He's got an incredibly powerful belief in himself.
What's the experience been like coaching Kent Bazemore this year? I believe in preseason you said he's kind of like the wild card. He can make a few good plays, a few bad plays. What's it like as a coach over there kind of watching that?
Yeah, Baze is great. I mean, he's frenetic out there. He plays with great energy. He's kind of all over the map. He has his moments where, he makes plays that, where he gets out of control, but he also makes really athletic, powerful moves to the rim, and steals and fast break layups and dunks, and so he's the kind of player who makes an impact. He's just going to come out there and make a difference. And tonight, I thought he was the difference. Frankly, his play in the second half really was the key.
Steve, a couple of questions. Just to be clear, Draymond Green, you expect him to play Friday?
I do. Yeah, part of the reason to hold him out was so he didn't aggravate it, and we got a couple of days, and so I expect him to, but we'll see.
And then what do you think was the difference on the boards between the first half and the second half?
I think just energy. I think we started to force some misses. They shot about 55% in the first half, and so there weren't a lot of rebounds to be had. But we started forcing some misses, and I think that last group, it's a very athletic group that was on the floor together with Eric, Bays, Kelly, and Wiggs, and we know Steph's a great rebounder. So it was just they were quick to the ball, and they were energetic, and they were battling.
Hey, Steve, you went with Pascal there. I think the entire fourth and the entire overtime, you've been going back to Juan. What was the choice there, and what did you think you got out of him?
Well, Eric was just playing well, and we were playing well. So, we briefly thought about taking him out to start the overtime just because Eric hasn't played, a stretch like that all season. I think, he played 17 straight minutes, if I'm not mistaken, or more. I think he came in late third, so he played about 20 straight minutes. And this is a guy who hasn't played a ton of minutes. So we were a little concerned about his conditioning, but I checked in with him a couple times. He said he was fine, and he was playing so well that we just kept him out there.
Steve, when you I guess analyze Pascal, I guess how he seems to sometimes settle for the jumper a lot, and sometimes he plays a bit of bully ball. I guess what's the difference between the two, and are you guys telling him when to do one or the other?
I think it's just a matter of him, figuring out the league and finding his game. He's played 5 for us this year, almost solely as a 5, and he didn't play center in college, and it's a different role, and we actually run a lot of stuff through him because he's so powerful and athletic. What I really like is that he's become really proficient at finding open guys on the perimeter, the drive and kick stuff, catching it in the pocket and moving it onto the weak side. Those are great plays, and he had several of those tonight, and he's had a lot of them lately. He's really locked in on passing the ball because he draws a lot of attention going to the rim.
Hi, Steve. Carlton Ramirez, NBC Bay Area and Telemundo. How do you adjust a game plan when you find out that your point forward is out 5 minutes before the game and that he's the guy who's going to defend Bam Adebayo? Well,
we kept the game plan the same. We just changed the matchups. So, all the coverages stayed the same. It just changed who was guarding whom, and at that point, it's just a matter of guys going out and battling, which our guys did. Everybody played extremely hard.
Coach, what does this game? Excuse me. Sorry. Yes. What does this game do for team belief? Because you might have to play without Draymond for some games. You might have to play games where Steph has an off night shooting. What is the pride here that shows that you guys can win no matter the circumstances? Well,
I think games like this can give a team confidence, and that's the hope that we. One of the things we've been harping on all year is defending without fouling and rebounding. And you think about the second half, which we won by 17 points. Is that right? We were down 15 and we won by 23. Sorry, I went to Arizona. My math is not great. We won the second half by 23. by out rebounding them and not fouling. And that's what we're going to preach the rest of the season. It's what we've been preaching, for the last month, because when you let a team shoot 30 free throws, it's really hard to win. So I'm hoping this is a game where not only do they pick up some confidence, but they actually, see the results of what happens when you don't foul and you rebound. Because we got a lot of athletes, a lot of guys who can take advantage in transition.
Hey, Steve.
How do you handle Bazemore fouling 3-point shooters? How do you cope with the mental health aspect of dealing with that once a game?
If we just give up 12 free throw attempts, I'm fine. If we foul 4 3-point shooters at the end of the shot clock, I'll live with that.
Coach, what it means the fourth quarter run about the identity of the team?
Well, it's we got a lot of guys who are competitive and they fight and they believe in each other. So it's a team that I think is coming together in some respects, but we got to prove it. We have a chance to go out on the road and actually get a winning streak together. So we'll see if we can do that.
Coach, I know Steph's unwavering belief in himself. Has he always had that?
Who's that, Melissa?
Steph's unwavering belief in himself, his, willingness to be able to shoot regardless, his short memory in terms of, always being willing to shoot regardless of what was happening here in the game. Has he always had that?
He's always had it since I've been here. I don't know, about when he was younger. You could ask his mom and dad. But he's always, since I've got here 6-7 years ago, his confidence has never wavered.
Hey, Coach.
Hi, Steve.
Hi.
Joe Verai from the Raptor Sports in the Philippines. Kelly Oubre shot a lot of big threes tonight. He's been shooting well in that department. He's 54.6% in Feb. So just talk about how much he's improved over the past few games, over the past few months, and how he's evolved in that aspect.
I think Kelly's just gotten comfortable. He's it's always hard to go to a new team, a new set of circumstances, new terminology, all that stuff. And Kelly has gotten comfortable with his surroundings, and he's just played extremely well. Now he's in a really good groove.